Hello YouTube, welcome back to Kind Heart Homestead. Another cold day here on our off-grid property in the mountains of Virginia. Last time I was here, I was working on the vented and solid soffit panels. The building's behind me. These gable end walls have a 2-foot overhang, just about. And then the short walls that go the length of the building, those have a 16-inch overhang. So I was cutting all of those panels to length. I was putting on the 2x6 sub fascia trim. So those are my fascia trims there, the big L-shaped pieces. Now I essentially have to cap those off with the corresponding trim that goes on the top. And all that has to be done before I can put the ridge cap across. It seems like the rain just stopped here this morning. And since it's so windy, it looks like the roof has dried off. But all of the mud around here is really wet. So I got my big boots on. It's going to be kind of tricky going up and down ladders, but that's my plan for this trip, is to at least get those corresponding upper trims put on. We'll see what else I can get going, depending on the conditions, depending on the wind. Maybe I can start on the siding panels. We'll see. So stick around. I'll be right back. Thanks. What I'm doing here with the first piece of the upper soffit trim for the gables is taking a single piece, cutting some, I guess you could call them relief cuts or fold cuts, some sort of notches in the panel that roughly correspond to the pitch of the roof, which is a 412 pitch in my case, around 18.4 degrees, I believe. And the reason I'm using one piece folded is to make sure that there's no seams in the top that could potentially have water going through them. This might be a mistake because it means that I'm gonna have to cut little pieces of a full piece to continue on to the edge of the roof overhang. But for now, I just need to get the ridge cap up, so having a central fold up on the top, just so I can get the ridge cap up, is good enough for this trip. To install this, I simply balance a ladder up against the tallest point of the gable and carry the piece of trim up and set it on top. There's a bit of a imprecise variation of my roof pitch on these overhangs, so I do have to make a couple little snips with my shears just to make sure that that front seam is perfectly vertical and the overlap makes sense. But after that, it's just a matter of securing this with a few screws. The manufacturer of my metal siding and trim provided color matched screws. I have some for the roofing and siding, which is supposed to go into wood, but then I also have self-tapping screws for metal on metal connections. So I'm using those metal screws anytime trim is attaching to a roof panel. Repeating the process again for the east-facing gable wall. What I'm doing here is measuring the full length of this trim panel, making a mark where the center is, and then I'm notching equal distance on both sides of that center line to make sure that the seam is perfectly in the middle. The seam being the overlap where the two pieces of the fold cover each other. One of them I left long to tuck behind the front piece, and then the front piece I have cut vertically corresponding to that 412 pitch I was talking about. I used my carpenter square to figure out that angle, and then that way that front piece that you see, you won't be able to see it on the video, but if you were to walk up or climb up with a ladder and look at it, there will be a straight cut that is vertical and it aligns perfectly with the upper and lower gable trim. I have the truck behind me. I'm going to try to back it up to the solar shed here so I can put the ladder in it, save me a couple feet off the ground, and angle it so it's flush with the roof. That way I can climb up and attempt to install the ridge cap. Over here you can see a couple test pieces that I tacked up to the wall for the rat guard. I think that's the proper term for it. It's basically a piece of bent flashing that's going to terminate the bottom of the corrugated siding panels. And because they're that ribbed corrugated shape, a lot of it's flush with the wall. But then those ribs create a gap that rodents could potentially get up. So this guard has a little kick out shelf, and then it folds back down, and that little kick out will prevent animals from going up the siding. So the reason those are tacked is because I need to take a few more vertical measurements just to make sure that the 90-inch length of the panels will fit everywhere. I gave everything about a 1/4 inch extra just so there's room to slide it up, and then I could potentially keep a bit of a gap between the bottom flashing and the metal so they're not rubbing together all the time. But the 6-foot level says that those are good to go. I'm pretty numb from the cold. The wind chill here makes it freezing. I can't feel my fingers. So that means I can't finish this rat guard. But that's okay, because I got my objective done. The ridge cap, this ladder technique made all the difference. I was able to prop it up here using this pallet so I can adjust my angle of approach of the ladder to keep it exactly to that 412 pitch of the roof. So that allowed me to climb up with materials. Then I could shimmy across the top. So I have about half of this rat guard installed, and I have to hold off on it till next time. But I went ahead and took out a panel here, and I put it up into place just to make sure the vertical clearance is correct. I'm gonna have to get some drill bits, or maybe I'll use my awl technique again to stamp the pilot holes into the sheet. I probably need to create a story pole, so my sequence of screws will be the same across every panel. So I'm packing up now, getting ready to go. That silage tarp back there keeps blowing out. I think I'm just gonna go park the truck on it so it can't move. So see you next time, Kind Heart Homestead. Hope you enjoy this time lapse. Bye.
Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals, they take us higher. The night's young and it's just begun as she puts her hand in mine. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be two hearts running wild. Now the morning is the afternoon. We lay awake in bed. The laughs so loud as the hours pass. We're gonna do it all again. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be, we're gonna be two hearts running wild. The moonlight, summer sky, it was the best we ever had. And we'll stay young forever. We'll never have regret.